going to be looking at a pizza character, a hamburger, and then a little drink. Now Friday for us is pizza night. Now that we've got our new wood-fired pizza oven, we're going to start by drawing that today. Thanks for joining me. Let's get into it, hey? Yep. Now you can see the pizza that I have here. It is a triangle shape, so that's what we're going to start with. Okay. I'm hoping that that's working well for you guys. We're going to start with, so at the top of the page, we're going to draw a triangle. So start with a light triangle, and this is going to be your pizza. Now remember, everything's made up of lines and shapes, and today we're going to use a triangle. Just refreshing there. Okay, so I've got my pizza. Now you guys might have your own favourite pizzas. Mine, I love a bit of pepperoni on mine. My kids love ham and cheese. Lots of kids love ham and cheese. Meat lovers is also good, but I particularly love a wood-fired pizza. All right, so depending on what toppings you like on yours, you could put your own toppings on. Pretty simple shape here. And I've just done the crust. I like a nice airy, thick crust. And now I'm just going to draw some of my pepperoni pieces on there. There's another one. Now I've drawn these down like that to make them look a little bit like their cheeks. I'm leaving enough space for the eyes. We're going to put the eyes on. Now, it all depends on what type of eyes you like. Remember, if you were watching the other day, we had some different type of eyes you could put on. I'm going to bring them in. You could put some of these eyes on to make yours look slightly different. I'm going to just put the standard sort of nice circles on. A couple of circles. Okay, remember, practice those circles, practice your straight lines. Practice your curved lines, just practice drawing, and you'll become better and better all the time. I've got a couple of little circles here. Okay, trying to keep them similar. I can see that one's slightly smaller. Remember, no such thing as mistakes, it's all learning. All right, another piece of pepperoni. Oh, I might put another piece over here this time. Rather than doing all of them smack in the middle, I've got them hanging off the edge, left some space for the face, okay? And I've cut them off. Okay, so basically these are just circle shapes. There's my pizza so far. I'm just gonna move it across now, give myself a bit more space. You should still be able to seal that pretty well. I'm now going to put some arms on, a couple of lines. You could, this time I'm just going to bring some, it's got some elbows. Come out, a couple of lines. Angled lines, remember, is another thing you need to practice with your drawing. I'm going to put a little oval shape here, a little oval shape there. And it all depends on how you want your fingers and how many fingers you want, but I'm just going to do, it's like a balloon almost. Four fingers, no thumbs on this pizza dude. If you wanted a thumb, you could put a thumb off the side. It's really your call. Now, what type of shoes you want is another story. I'm just going to put a couple of straight lines coming down. You could put boots or sneakers on or feet. I'm going to put some little gum boots on. So just making a shape like so. So come down, across, around, and then up. And then you can do another little, like a little ellipse shape there. There's some boots. And there we have our cool little pizza guy. Great to see a number of people have joined me again. So it's great that we have some regulars. This time I'm going to use a fine point because this character is quite simple. I'm going to use a fine point, not the extra fine, but the fine point Sharpie. So if you've got a texter, you could probably use that. But I'm first of all going to make sure that I haven't got all my good paper underneath there. Look at all that good paper. And there we are. So just my scrap paper. start and follow these lines. Now I had a class this morning in my studio, and I had some people join me that have been joining in on these sessions, so that was great to see them in face-to-face, but it was also great to know that they've been doing these drawing classes. You don't have to colour in your arms like I am. I just kind of like it, like the thick black arms. Just move that over slightly because it was almost touching. Remember, when you're doing your Sharpie, have something underneath, or a Sharpie is a permanent marker, so it can be any brand. It doesn't have to be Sharpie brand. Just gives you more options later on for colouring. Now, if you've been joining me every day, you'll notice that I do repeat a few of my sayings, but you know, I get different people every day, so I like to make sure I'm emphasising the most important parts about drawing. And that is to keep drawing, keep practicing. Okay, now I'm going to swap for my inner details to the extra ultra fine point. So you can see that's slightly smaller. This is for the pepperoni. Now, I like, as I said, I like the pepperoni pizzas. I like a bit of spice in my pizza. Wonder what you guys like. Who wants to share in the chat what type of pizza is their favourite? Okay, I'm just rubbing out most of those pencil lines. Today I'm going to colour in the pizza and the burger, and then I'm going to show you how to draw the fruit drink, and then I'm going to colour that in with some special markers today. All right, let's look at the cheese colour. Oh, I've got a really bright yellow for my cheese, so I'm going to just colour that in with some yellow. Now you can see this text is just about finished. Now, this is a normal bronzeal texture with a brush tip and a fine point tip. Any textures is fine to colour in your work with. But the problem with textures, I find, is that they run out. And then you've got to throw them out, which is a little bit annoying with the environment. I've got some textures later on that I'm going to show you, the Copic Markers that I'm going to use on one of my pictures. I'm going to talk a bit more about that later, and because they're refillable. Okay, so I've just coloured that in as best I can with a texture that's pretty much ready to be put in the bin. And I'm just going over it, not pressing too hard. Now I'm going to get some red for my pepperoni. So you might have ham on yours, you might have all sorts, supreme if you like olives. Wonder if anyone likes anchovies. I don't mind the artichokes on mine every now and then. Lucky I've had lunch. This morning we had a couple of girls make some watermelons, which was the same sort of shape using polymer clay. All right, now I'm going to just colour in the crust of the pizza. I've just found a nice light brown. Colouring in the long direction. colouring the same way if you can, staying in the lines, making sure you've got no white bits. And I think I've got those, and then I'm just going to colour the shoes in. I left the hands white. I might bring another colour into this time. Blue shoes. Except for that blue's no good. Let's go over it with this blue. This blue's way better. Blue suede shoes. There we are. There we have a simple pizza character. And that, I'm just going to leave it as simple as that. You don't always have to add shading if you don't want to. You can see I've put a little bit of other colour pencil over that. But I'm just going to leave that as a flat picture for today's session. And I'm going to move on to the burger. Okay. Now, burgers, homemade burgers. Yum, yum. Let's have a look at the shape that we're going to do for the burger. I'm going to squeeze my burger in underneath here. And I'm going to zoom in a bit to, and yep, I can get them on. Okay, so at the moment I've got my burger, so I'm going to draw a curved line for the top, like so, bring it across and down. Remember, you can pause this. Ooh, meat lovers, margarita, ham and pineapple. Yes, there's a debate, isn't it? Who likes pineapple on their pizza? I love it. Some people say no. And look at that shape. It's not quite an oval shape because we want that bun to be up and around and then curving down. Now, this is a piece of cheese that's hanging out here. So it's going to stick out each side, and depending on how many pieces you want, you can bring it down a couple of times. I reckon just one little bit like that. Looks good. A couple of little curved lines to bring your cheese down. Now what we need to do with the burger sits up underneath there. We're going to make sure it stays inside the bun, so don't draw it out here. And we're just going to draw another shape curving down, not straight across, but curving down. And bring that one inside there as well. Yeah, if you like lettuce, you could put some lettuce on there. You could put some other bits and pieces. I'm just going to put some bumpy lines like this for some lettuce. You might decide something else. And then we put our bun on the bottom. Now, you know all those advertisements that you see with the perfect, massive, big burgers? And then you get them in real life and they're not as big, are they? Well, here we've got ourselves a nice looking burger. All right, again, we can put on some different eyes if we want to, or we can put on the standard eyes. I'm going to do something a little bit different today, and I'm going to move this across, and I'm going to change the face up a bit. I'm going to put on this face. Angle, like a play button or an arrow, and then we've got and then if you wanted to, you could put some little cheeks on, like so. And I'm going to put some little sesame seeds up the top here. Some people don't like sesame seeds, but I love them on bread rolls, especially burger rolls. So we've got our little hamburger there. And now I'm going to outline it. Because it's pretty simple, I'm going to use the same Sharpie outliner. And I'm going to outline all the bits except for the inner details of the eyes, etc. Now, if you've been joining our videos and you like them, make sure you click on that like button and subscribe to the channel. Just helps us grow and reach more people who might like drawing and might like some free tips. And I hope that you guys have been getting a bit out of it and enjoying drawing some different characters. I'm going to do the eye, so it's fairly thick too. Colour in this eye. I'm changing to a thinner one for the seeds though. I'm going to make that thinner little outlines. I'm not going to outline the cheeks because they'll be coloured in. Just going to put some seeds up through here. And then rub out some of my lines that I don't need. Now, let's have a look at my rubber. Where'd I go? Here. Alrighty, now it's time to colour in our burgers. So I'm going to leave those cheeks like so, and I'm just going to colour around them, and I'm going to leave my seeds white. So I'm just going to go around my seeds. If I had a white gel pen, which I do have, I could bring them in afterwards, but I'm just going to leave them white. Another thing you can sort of use to go over stuff is a Posca marker. Alrighty, just colouring in around there. You may or may not like these cheeks. I'm just giving it a try, something different from my other burger that I drew. And while I've still got this pen, I'm going to do the texture. I'm still going to do the bottom as well. Okay, so with these two pictures, I'm sort of just really doing flat colouring at the moment. I haven't put any shading on or light and dark areas because these are kind of just sort of really cute characters. Do I put pink cheeks on? That's the next question. Need a brown for the burger bun itself, the burger. Now you might like vegetarian burgers. I think they bring out vegetarian patties these days. Meat, you might like beef or chicken burgers. Mine's going to be a beef burger. And now I'm looking for some light green, for the lettuce. And that's just brought back memories of the Wiggles, you know, Let Us Sing. And who would have believed that they would have won Triple J's Hottest 100 recently, hey? There we go. All right, yellow for the cheese. Sorry to go off tangent there. Bit of yellow. There we are. Some of your colours are more popular than others. I remember as a teacher, I'd always run out of certain colours before the others, and some of them wouldn't have even been touched. I'm going to put some pink cheeks on there. And we have ourselves a burger. So far we've drawn the burger and the, oops, just trying to zoom out, yep. We've drawn the burger and the pizza. And now we're going to draw the drink. So I'm just going to move this into position and get rid of these ones. Get myself some new paper. You can see that my piece of paper underneath has definitely protected my table, and I'm getting myself set up ready to show you guys how to draw this. Now this one here is a little bit trickier to draw than the other two because this one's a bit more 3D, and we're going to start by drawing an ellipse. So an ellipse is just a narrow oval shape like so. There's my ellipse. Okay, I'm gonna just zoom in a little bit. Hopefully that's good for you guys. And now what we're gonna do is I would like you to draw this line lightly through the middle here. When we draw things that are symmetrical, I like to put a line in the middle because symmetry means exactly the same on both sides. So now what I'm going to do is this cup or glass comes out that side on that angle, and it's going to come out on this angle here. So what we've got here and here should be the same sort of width, and you can measure that sort of roughly with your pencil like so. Now what we need to do is, see this curved line? We need to bring a curved line down and around and back up. Curved lines are kind of tricky. So you can see I'm just lightly sketching it over, giving it. Okay, this might be, oh, who likes pink lemonade? Hey, could be a pink lemonade. Don't know how well orange would go with it, but we could say that's a lemon, an orange lemon. All right, the next thing we're going to do is the stem of the glass. Curve it, curve, and then sort of straight down. You could make that longer, and it could be a wine glass for if any adults are joining me. But for today, we'll just make it a short little one like so. We're going to do a curved line there. Then we're going to put another ellipse around like so. And because this is closer to us, there's going to be more of a gap, so more space. So I'm going to put a line here and then bring this other ellipse down, out. How far does that come out? Yeah, roughly there. And around like so. And I might bring that up on a bit more of an angle there like that. That looking pretty good. And how far up you want your liquid, if you want it down lower or up higher, you decide where you want to put the water, the level of the drink. I'm going to put it about here, and it's curved line coming around like so. There we have our glass so far. It's more than a glass half full. All right, we're going to put a lemon or an orange here on, and that's going to be a circle. So we're going to put a circle there like so. And I'm going to put a straw in. So circle. Then this is the tricky part here. I'm going to put another light circle there. And then all I'm going to get you to do is draw some lines. Pretend there's a dot in the middle of that circle. So maybe zoom in on this. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. Yep. Okay, so pretend there's a dot in the middle of this circle, and from this point, bring some lines at what we call regular intervals. That means spacing. You don't want to have some really close and some really wide. Try and keep them similar sort of spacing all the way around. Don't take them all the way out to the edge, but if we can keep them sort of poking out like so, angling towards the middle, that can look really good. And then the next step, so see that little dot in the middle of the circle? That's like the center point. Everything's radiating out from that. So then what we can do is we can just put a curve, 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 like so, back into the middle of Let's curve it around. And that helps us draw the lemon. Yep, we're going pretty well for time. Now the straw. I'll better zoom out for the straw. Remember, if you need to come back and watch that another time, usually it takes a little bit of time for my YouTube video to get up there, but if you keep on this link, you should be right. When I press stop, it goes private and then I have to press public straight away. So apologies if it kicks you off the video if you haven't finished. All right, so straight line on an angle, and then a little bit of a curve shape there, and then my straw is going to curve out, and whatever angle you want to keep it on. But try and keep this and this the same width. You don't want to see a straw that's really fat there and really thin up here. And then just curve it, curving end. And there we have our glass. You could leave it like that. You don't have to put a face on. It's really your personal preference. But I'm going to put a face on, and this time it's going to be a sour drink. So I'm going to put the sour eyes on. That's what I was going to say. Now, there's one thing that art is awesome at, and that is using symbols. We use symbols and pictures to tell us how to do lots of things. For example, we know which toilet to go to just based on a picture of a person. We also use colors to communicate. So anywhere in the world you can go and you can see some symbols that are going to help you, and they're based on pictures. All right, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm going to show you how to outline this one, but then I'm going to color in a different picture, okay? So what you guys can do is you can outline. So we're going to outline with the thick one, the main outlines. I find it easier to drag towards me than to push away. So when you're drawing, I find if you're a right-hander, I find it easier to go that way, or depending on what I'm doing, but I don't ever, you got to work out what you're more comfortable with the stroke that you're using. Now, you can see this back of this glass, we don't want to go over that. I made that mistake before. The straw is in front of the glass, so that's why I've rubbed that out there. And, oh, yeah, that's looking pretty good. Let's draw the face on. I'm going to keep that fairly thick. I'm going to keep this bit thick as well. And I'm going to thicken this up, but I'm not actually going to outline inside there. That's going to be done using the colors, and because it's a glass, see-through glass, I'm going to just leave a little bit of a highlighted reflection through here. So I haven't done a line through there because that's going to be like a reflection highlight through there. See how I've left it white through most of there, and okay, that's what we're going to try and do. We're going to take this around, this line around here. You can outline this straw with a thinner one as well if you like. Okay, so I've got this one that I've drawn today. But I've got another picture that I'm going to now colour in because I want to introduce you to some Copic markers. All right, so I'm going to pop that one out the way and I'm going to guide you through these. You can use all normal pencils, textures, everything that I'm going to show you applies to what you're going to do with light and dark areas, that's for sure. So I'm going to start with the straw. Now, these markers that I'm using are Copic Chows. These come in 180 colours and they're fully refillable. So once you buy it, I don't have to throw these out. I can just keep filling them up. It's got a nice brush tip on it and a chisel tip on the other end. Okay, the light's going to come from here, like I do in most of my videos, top left. So this straw is going to be a light green. So if you're using a texture at home, you might colour it all in one colour and then put the pencil over. I'm going to put the Copic marker down over most of it, all of the straw, this lighter colour. The more I go over that, the darker that will go to a degree. And then I've got a G05 Copic marker here that I can lay over the top. And then I can get my other one and I can blend them in nicely. And once it dries, that should look pretty good. And then I can just go back over that little area there with a Copic. I could even get a darker one. So the number, the letter at the start is like the color. The next one's how much gray is in, so 0 gray in that, and then how dark it is. All right, so you can see that I've shaded this with the greens. If you've colored it in flat green, you could then put some light color over the top with pencil or put some darker shading on. I'm gonna now use RV02 and RV04 for the coloring in the liquid, but I'm going to leave a gap here, a white gap. So if you're coloring in whatever color you want to color in your liquid, I suggest you just color it in a color like I am. I'm going to do it all this pinky color. Now this is special blending card that I'm working on. That's why it's looking so good. Blending card is really awesome. Whoops, I just went down a little bit too far there. Sometimes for bigger areas, I'll turn it around to the chisel tip and give that a go. Now these ones are well used. I do lots of Copic marker classes for grades 4 and above children. And you should see some of the pictures that they draw, they're amazing. Okay. So you can see that one's starting to run out, needs a bit of a refill. I might need to order some of that ink. And the more I go over it, the smoother it looks, and this is going to darken this area up a little bit. I'm now going to get the RV04, which is darker because that's a 2 and that's a 4. And I'm going to go down in this bottom section here with the colour. And what I'm going to do to shade it out, I'm going to flick it out like this for a start. You might say, oh, there's lots of lines in that. There is. I'm deliberately making lots of lines there because I get my RV02, and because I'm on blending card, I can see how I'm doing little circles over that, and that's going to actually just make that disappear, those lines, and blend them into each other. Make them look really good. This wouldn't work on normal paper. This only works on blending card and with these special Copic markers. You can see that that's blended it in beautifully. Okay, I might put a little bit of darker pink up here, a little bit of a reflection. If you've ever seen glass, you get a few little darker and lighter bits reflecting on them. I'm not gonna put the cheeks on. Now this is not permanent marker, these ones. This is actually a Copic Multiliner, and we have to use Copic Multiliners because these are alcohol-based pens. I'm not sure if any of you guys have seen the awesome alcohol ink that people are doing at the moment, those sort of washy looking pictures that look cool. That's alcohol ink. All right, now I'm gonna get a light blue, which I've got here, BO2, and I'm just gonna pop some of that down on here. You're gonna choose whatever color you want the glass to be. You could leave it white if you wanted to. You could do light gray, but I'm just putting some blue in here. And you can see that I'm going over that again to make that darker by layering it. Remember, when you're shading with pencils, layering, changing your pencil type will make a difference in how much pressure you put on. For me, this isn't about the pressure, this is about the colors and the layering. If I press hard on this text, on this marker, it doesn't make any difference. Now I can even buy replaceable nibs if this one starts to get a bit annoying or a bit broken. They're pretty tough. I've done about 20 classes and I've only ever had to replace 3, and that's a fair bit of use. Okay, I'm gonna lay down some yellow. This is a YO8, so it's a pretty bright yellow, quite a dark yellow. Popping that over the top. Just layering that up nicely, making that look good. Now, if you've looked at some of the YouTube channels and seen Copic Markers, you would have seen maybe Drawing with Jazz, maybe Drawing So Cute. She does a lot of Copic marker. Most of hers are colored in with those. Definitely a really professional looking tools. Okay, now all that drawing that I did previously, if we remember, we had the circles with the lines going in towards the middle. I'm going to do that manually. You might be able to see your lines, but I'm going to pretend and I'm going to flick these into the middle like so. And I'm just showing you quickly to, if I was doing this as a major piece of work, I would make sure I had this all mapped in properly. For this exercise, I'm just doing it as is to show you how to do it. You've already got it mapped in there. Now what we can do with some of this, you'll notice that, let that dry a little bit. I can pop some glass color over the front of this to make it look like it's behind in front of the glass, or if I wanted to, I can do some of that. I can put some glass effect over the front of there as well. These are like translucent markers that can look mixed together and work quite nicely. Just putting some reflection sort of on there. Now, if I wanted to, I can put some white. If you've got a white pencil, you might put a bit of white over that part to make it look like that this glass is in front and then that's behind it. Okay. Probably needed to put a line over there, but that's okay. It's looking pretty good. I've got a bit of a gap here, so I'm just going to put some more color over the bottom there. Now next week, yep, I'm going to be back next week. So I've got some more exciting drawings coming up next week. All right, you can see I can keep working over that and maneuvering it around and making it look pretty good. I can get some darker blue down here if I wanted to. This one's a 24, so it's quite dark, so I could just put a little bit of darker areas on through here and around through there. All right, how are we going for time? I think we're pretty good today. So today we did a drink and we did ourselves a pizza and a burger. Okay. Which one did you guys like the most to draw, do you think? Anyone got an idea of which ones they like the best to draw? You might like to put that into the chat. I'm just going to have a quick chat to you guys before I go, and I'll just set that camera up there. Hopefully that looks okay. Alrighty, sorry about that. I've only got this set up with my phone, so I've got to manually adjust it. I'm going to say thanks, guys. I've really had a great week. I hope you guys have too. I hope you've enjoyed drawing along with me, and I've certainly enjoyed seeing what people have been drawing. Next week we've got some more exciting drawings. I think Monday's going to be sea creatures. I've got vehicles blocked in there. Cute monsters. I've also got some face proportions and a cool landscape. I think that's what's coming next week live, and I'll also try and upload some other videos. I think I'm going to try and give SpongeBob a go for those people that requested SpongeBob. Thanks a lot, guys. Remember, if you have enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up and a like, and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you Monday afternoon. Thanks, guys. Bye.